Football is a global game and the greatest show on earth is going on, but football was born in England and England have a very vital match ahead against their neighbors. আমন্ত্রণ জানাচ্ছি যমুনা টেলিভিশনের বিশেষ আয়োজন ওয়ার্ল্ড কাপ কার্নিভাল উইথ মেগা ডিজিটাল স্কেলের আজকের আয়োজন আপনাদের সঙ্গে আছি আমি সৈয়দ আবিদ হোসেন সামি। আমাদের সঙ্গে আজকে তিনজন স্পেশাল গেস্ট রয়েছেন, তাদেরকে আপনাদের সঙ্গে পরিচয় করাতে চাই। From my left, there is Mr. Javed Patel, Deputy British High Commissioner in Bangladesh. Sir, I know you are a very big fan of football. You are very much passionate about football. You are a very big Arsenal fan, by the way.
Greatest team in the world.
Greatest team in the world. And I have also seen you supporting, cheering for your team in the Embassy Football Fest, where you become the runner-up for the very first time. Are you proud of your boys?
Hugely proud. Disappointed that we didn't quite make the win, but very, very proud of the team for getting all the way to the final, and a really good opportunity to use sport as a way of bringing embassies and teams together. It was a wonderful couple of days.
And thank you very much for accepting our invitation here in Jamuna Television. We're very much honored. Now, next to him, it's Mr. Tom Birch, Political Counselor, British High Commission in Bangladesh. But I know him personally as the captain of British High Commission team. And I beg your pardon, during commentary, I didn't know your name. That's why I had to mention the tallest man in the ground. How tall are you actually?
6'3".
6'3". Very much taller than me. Yeah. And what's your feeling coming out here?
Sorry,
What's your feeling coming out here?
I'm feeling brilliant. Yeah, it was awesome. Really enjoyed the tournament. Had a really good game, and now we're excited about the England game tonight.
Okay, next we have the lone man supporting Wales tonight, Mr. Jason Rollison, Defence Section Support Officer, British High Commission in Bangladesh. So, are your colleagues pulling out your legs tonight?
Are my colleagues supporting me tonight, or are they pulling my leg?
Pulling your legs.
They're pulling my leg, very much so. Yes, very much so. I feel very lonesome tonight. So there's not many Welsh fans out here in Bangladesh. So, but who knows in football? We need to beat England by 4-0, and you never know.
Though Wales have a very narrow chance to qualify for the next round, but best of luck for you, gentlemen. We have a very big game ahead. Yeah. Just after this show, it will be 1 a.m. midnight Bangladeshi time. England and Wales going to participate. But in cricket, we actually see England and Wales play together. In Olympics, we see Great Britain performs all together. But in comes to football, England and Wales, they are going to have a battle. What's the scenario back in England?
So I think it would be quite an emotional game for, we were talking earlier about sort of lots of families having both England and Wales supporters, my family including. So my son is a huge Wales supporter, and tonight I know that he's going to be hoping for Wales to
There's a support for Gareth Bale.
Huge support for Gareth Bale, Aaron Ramsey, and he'll be hoping that Wales can get over the line. So I'm, as much as I want England to win, obviously as a loving father, I want both England and Wales to go through tonight, whatever permutation it takes for that to happen. So fingers crossed.
So fingers crossed. England started their campaign in this World Cup with a win by a margin of 6-2 against Iran. Then they had to draw against Team USA. Do you think that Shaka should play more aggressively to support Harry Kane in the middle?
Yeah, I mean, I think Saka's an amazing player. He's dynamic. He's got loads of mobility. Plays for Arsenal, which makes Javed happy. So I'd like to see him play a bit more. I'd like to see Phil Foden as well. We've got some good midfield talent.
Yeah, you have got some good midfield talent. And what about Wales? They started their campaign with a draw, then they had to lose against Iran. So is it going to be a pressureless game for Team Wales tonight because they have nothing to lose?
Well, that's it. Wales have got no pressure now, so they're going to go into the game as the underdogs, which could go in our favour. Unfortunately, we haven't got the strength in depth like England have. You know, the likes of Gareth Bale, Aaron Ramsey are coming toward the end of their career. But who knows? Football's a strange game.
So are you challenging them that you are going to beat England tonight by a margin of 4-0?
Yeah, 5-0.
5-0?
Oh yes, easily.
Are you accepting the challenge?
He's been very confident all the way here. You know, he's been saying that Wales are going to put 5 or 6 past us, but I'm not quite sure it's going to be that emphatic. So I'm hoping that Wales play well. I'm hoping it's a good game between the two teams, and I hope at the end we continue to be friends at the end of it. And as I said, I really hope that both England and Wales can get through at the end of this.
In the last tournament back in 2018, England reached into the semis. After that, in the Euro 2020, they reached in the final. Do you think that Southgate's men are on right track? And after 1966 Jules Rimet Trophy, England have never been able to win a World Cup. Is this the high time?
Well, it's as good a time as any, and hopefully England can go one better than the Euros obviously losing to Italy in the final of the Euros was hugely disappointing, but we've seen real progression from this team. Semi-final at the last World Cup, as you said. We're really hopeful that we could win in England in the Euros last year. And who knows, England's form coming into this tournament hasn't been brilliant. But they've had a good result at the start, beating Iran 6-2. Didn't quite sort of get over the line with USA, but who knows, as the tournament progresses, hopefully England will get better and they'll get much stronger, and fingers crossed, maybe it's coming home this year.
Maybe it's coming home this year. That's what they're expecting. Talking about Harry Kane, your captain. As a captain, as an iconic character, how do you rate Harry Kane to influence a generation towards football?
Well, I mean, as a massive Arsenal fan, I'm not the biggest fan of Harry Kane, given he plays for rival Spurs, but he has been a big part of this England team. You know, if England are to win the World Cup, we need Harry Kane to score goals. But there is a huge amount of talent in this team, and I'm confident that we've got the players to go all the way. I think the big question is, can the players hold their nerve in the games that really count? So it will get harder, but fingers crossed, everybody can contribute. But I've got high hopes for Bukayo Saka that he will be player of the tournament and will bring it home for England. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed once again. The same question I'm going to ask you. Every generation has an iconic character in every team. How do you rate Harry Kane as an influencer?
Yeah, I think he's a very good example. He's a good captain. He leads the team well. He's good with the media. Very technical player, very hard-working. He's come on a long way in his career, so you can see the progression. You have to put in the effort to get that far, and he's done really well. So I think he's a really good role model. Yeah.
The same question I'm going to ask you. How do you rate Gareth Bale as an iconic character back in Wales?
Oh, I mean, he's huge in Wales. He's loved by everybody in Wales. It's just a shame now that Gareth Bale is, like I mentioned earlier, is coming towards the end of his career. I think in the Euros, when we knocked out Belgium in the quarterfinals, that was when he was playing at his pinnacle. Just watching him against Iran, against USA, it just doesn't look. He hasn't got that sharpness like he used to have. He hasn't got that extra bit of speed that he used to have. But still, hey, a great player, and has won every possible trophy you can win. So
just a simple summary towards our audience in Bengali what we were discussing about. আমরা যে বিষয় নিয়ে আলোচনা করছিলাম যে আসলে ইংল্যান্ড এবং ওয়েলসের আজকের যে ম্যাচটি রয়েছে সেই ম্যাচটি এবং তার মাঝখানে আমরা আসলে আইকনিক ক্যারেক্টার হিসেবে হ্যারি কেন কতটুকু ইনফ্লুয়েন্সিয়াল ক্যারেক্টার হয়েছেন আসলে ইংল্যান্ডে যারা আপকামিং জেনারেশনে ফুটবলার রয়েছেন তাদের ক্ষেত্রে, এবং সেই সঙ্গে জিজ্ঞেস করছিলাম আমি ওয়েলসের ক্ষেত্রে গ্যারেথ বেল কতটুকু ইম্প্যাক্ট ফেলতে পারছেন। সবকিছু মিলে একটা প্রাণবন্ত আলোচনা ঠিক এই মুহূর্তে চলছে। স্যার, অ্যাকর্ডিং টু ইউ, হুইচ ইজ দ্য মোস্ট ফ্যাসিনেটিং পার্ট অফ সাউথগেটস কোচিং strategy?
So I think sort of tactically there's a big divide in England about whether he is approaching it in the right way. So he tends to be quite defensive when there's a lot of attacking talent in England. But that approach has got England to a semi-final and a final. So you know, I'm not one to doubt him. I'm hoping that those tactics will push us all the way. But I would like to see some of our attacking talent sort of unleashed against sort of Wales tonight, but also later in the tournament, because I think playing defensively will only get you so far. You know, we need goals to win tournaments.
So as far as combination is concerned and as far as formation is concerned, England has been going through 4-3-3 combination. So are you on to it? This is okay?
I think when we get into the final third, the other half, we play well in the box. You can see the likes of Saka when he's on Phil Foden. Callum Wilson even in the recent game playing well. He's a Newcastle player, so I'm biased. But I think when we get to that stage of the pitch, we're pretty lethal, pretty dangerous. Yeah.
But surprisingly, we have seen Wales playing with 5 defenders. 3 defenders actually. 3 defenders, 5 midfielders and 2 forwards. So is it a bit risky for Wales to play against England with 3 defenders?
I would say so. It's very difficult.
Why you are so disappointed?
Because I look at the Wales team, I look at the Wales team sheet, and we haven't, I keep mentioning it, we haven't got the depth in squad like England have. You know, we've got big Keith Moore up front. He's a big, strong, bulky player that can hold the ball up. And we've got Dan James. Dan James is very quick, but we haven't got, you take those 2 players away, and what have we got? We haven't got the Man United striker. We haven't got a
Rashford.
We haven't got a Rashford to bring on. Yeah. We haven't got a Phil Foden to bring on. So I do sound a bit negative, but it's just that
That 5-0 prediction now isn't
Yeah,
looking
that 5-0 yeah, no,
too
no, no, no,
confident.
To England.
yeah, it's that's my only concern. We just haven't got the depth in the squad.
Talking about the football culture over back in England, in subcontinent, cricket is the most dominating game here in Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, or in Sri Lanka. We do own football, but we own football by Brazil or Argentina. But you are participating in the FIFA World Cup. How much your people are passionate about football over in England?
Oh, I mean, massive. It is the number one sport in all over the UK, in England. There will be obviously a big following of the English team, but all teams, the beauty of having a country that is so diverse is that we will have supporters of all nations. And I know there'll be lots of fan parks in the UK, so every game will be televised, and I'm sure there'll be a huge following. And, football is a great export for the UK. The Premier League is huge. We've talked about sort of my love of Arsenal. We've got a Newcastle fan, a Liverpool fan, and it's massive here. Even in Bangladesh, the following of the Premier League is huge. And we can only see it getting more and more popular. So, long may that continue.
We see great rivalry between Manchester United, Manchester City, or Manchester United versus Liverpool. But when all the players play together, what's the scenario actually? How do people accept that?
Yeah, well, I've heard that often there's some friendly banter between the players of sort of rival clubs. At the moment, Arsenal are top of the league, 5 points clear, and sorry, I had to get that in. And obviously, I know the Arsenal players have met up with fellow sort of Man City players at the England camp who are rivals obviously this season. But I think it's all friendly, and obviously when they play in the same team, their allegiances to their club sort of goes out the window for that moment, and they can come together and hopefully do the nation proud and win games for England, and of course also Wales.
আমাদের সঙ্গে মিস্টার জাবেদ প্যাটেল রয়েছেন, ডেপুটি ব্রিটিশ হাই কমিশনার। আমরা তার সঙ্গে কথায় ফিরবো। But first of all, after the break, Tom, what do you think, which is the weak gate of this English side?
The weak link.
Yeah, weak gate.
Ooh, I don't want to say that we've got a weak link. I think we've got a good chance. I think, if anything, as Javed said, we're a little bit conservative. Sometimes we need to push forward more, need to use the width and use the wings a little bit more and take more risks, gamble a little bit more, be a bit less cautious. Yeah.
We talked about Gareth Bale in the early on. Gareth Bale has been carrying the flag of Wales for a very long time, and he's the most capped player for Wales. But after that, how much motivated are the young people to carry the legacy of Gareth Bale?
Yeah, a good question. I think obviously Wales getting to the World Cup is going to inspire lots of young kids in Wales to get on that, to put their boots on and get on the pitch. It's going to be a rebuilding structure for Wales after this World Cup. I can see quite a few of the players retiring. This will be their last tournament. But yeah, just getting to the World Cup it's going to inspire a lot of young children back in Wales.
Okay, now that's going to be a tricky question. I don't know that whether you're going to lose some followers or not. Who is the best footballer right now in the planet, Messi or Ronaldo? Or Harry Kane?
Oh, I'm definitely not Harry Kane. Who is the best player in the world? Well, I mean, of all time, I think there's a big debate. Messi and Ronaldo have been phenomenal players. I'm not sure that they're both at the height of their superpowers, and I can call them superpowers because they have had phenomenal careers, and they've both been phenomenally successful, incredible players. I am probably, if I had to choose one of them, a bigger Lionel Messi fan. I just think
Why?
just his technical ability has been fantastic. He's had a phenomenal career with Barcelona, won literally everything, as has Ronaldo. It's so difficult to split them, and you could also make a case for Ronaldo. I mean, both I think will go down as sort of the biggest legends of the game, for what they've achieved, for the way they've conducted themselves, and the fact that at their respective ages they're still playing in this World Cup, still performing incredibly well. So yeah, two amazing players who I've had the privilege to watch live in person.
Okay, we saw a typical Ronaldo celebration last night. What's your thought on Ronaldo and Messi? Who's the best?
He didn't score.
I mean, obviously they're both phenomenal. I think Ronaldo is more of a kind of out-and-out forward, more of an attacking player who can cut through defences. Messi's more of a team player. He builds teams around him. He spreads the ball, shares it around. So I think, like Javed, I sort of admire Messi a bit more. But I think Ronaldo, there's no substitute for that kind of forceful attack. He's really recognisable straight away. But they're both really impressive. Yeah.
You're going with them also?
No, I'm going to go with Ronaldo. I
So
think
it's 2-1
Yeah.
between
We've
Messi and Ronaldo.
obviously gone that way because we know that most fans in Bangladesh follow Argentina, so I think we're on safe ground. I think Jason might be lynched on the way out of here.
No, I think obviously Ronaldo started off at Manchester United, moved on to Real Madrid, went on then to Juventus. So, whereas he's done it all at Barcelona, and he's struggled a little bit at PSG. So, for me, I would just say Ronaldo.
Okay, for you Ronaldo, and for Jabez sir it was Messi, for Tom it was Messi, and for you it's Ronaldo. But football has a global language, and FIFA World Cup, it's like a festival. We have seen people from different countries, different religion, from different background, they're coming all together in the World Cup under one roof. So do you think that football is a very good weapon of diplomacy?
Absolutely. I mean, regardless of your sort of gender, your background, the country you represent, what part of any country you're in, everybody plays football, and it's a real unifier. And what I really love about the sport is how it's brought people together. And when we think about the competition that the team played in over the weekend, bringing together sort of 20 different sort of embassies and agencies coming together, all of whom just wanted to play football and compete, and we had sort of diverse number of people sort of playing, representing different parts of their organisations. I thought it was a wonderful way, and then sort of coming together at the end, there was a huge amount of respect. So definitely, I think it could be used as a great diplomatic tool, and not just football, but any kind of sport, cricket, rugby. I think all over the world you see sport as a vehicle to bring communities together.
What's your thought on that, Tom?
I completely agree, yeah. Having played in the tournament at the weekend, it was a lot of fun. Made lots of new friends, met loads of embassies, met lots of foreign diplomats who I'd never met before. And playing against them in football, it's like a different dynamic. You can sort of have a handshake and talk about policy, or you can actually play them on the field. And it's quite fun to do both. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
So, as far as diplomatic policy is concerned, what's your thought when England and Wales play against each other?
What's my part?
What's your thought actually when England and Wales play?
What's my thought when England and Wales play together?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, personally, my thought is I'd like to see Wales go through, but if Wales don't progress through this game this evening, then I will obviously follow England all the way through the tournament. And I'd like to see England go all the way if Wales don't do it tonight.
So during the interval, I was observing the social media of Jamuna Television, YouTube and Facebook. There are a huge amount of people are asking one thing, that we have a very big fan base of English Premier League here in Bangladesh. And personally, I am a very big fan of Manchester United. By the way, you were Arsenal and Manchester United. But the fact is, do you have any plan to exchange football culture between England and Bangladesh to upreach our standard of football?
Well, as I said earlier, Premier League is huge, and I can't remember if I said that Arsenal are currently top of the league, 5 points clear. But there's a real connection of fans here with football teams in the UK, and one of the things that I see Premier League clubs doing more and more is sort of touring globally. I know in the summer there's lots of opportunities for fans across the world to see Premier League teams, whether they play in the US or in Asia, Africa, and who knows, maybe we'll see a Premier League team come to Bangladesh one day, and that's a great way of just sort of energizing sort of fans and getting people sort of more connected to football. And it can be a great vehicle to do that. So I hope we see sort of greater links, greater connections between sort of sport in the UK and sport in Bangladesh.
Does it feel great when you hear that Bangladesh have a very huge fan base of English Premier League football?
Yeah, I love it. I play a lot of football here in Dhaka in Bangladesh, and I'm a Newcastle fan. When I wear my Newcastle shirt, lots of Bangladeshis recognise the black and white. They know Alan Shearer, they know the famous players, and it's really nice to have that connection where people are watching the same games, they know the same teams. Really fun, yeah.
So when did your love of football started actually?
Oh, my love of football started when I was a young teenager and I was supporting Liverpool. So in the mid 80s, Liverpool were the team to follow. My grandparents were from Liverpool, so you were either Liverpool or Everton, and I chose the red side of Merseyside. And I'm very passionate about Liverpool, and there's a great fan base out here. There's a lot of Liverpool fans out here. I'm often seeing local Banglers walking around with Salah on the back. So yeah, it's great to see.
So we have got 3 supporters from 3 different teams. One is from Arsenal, then the mid one is from Newcastle United, and now you're talking about Liverpool. So it's great to see you all. Now, as far as FIFA World Cup is concerned, you have seen how people here in Bangladesh, they celebrate FIFA World Cup. What's your thought on that? Because here in Dhaka city, people, sometimes they are very much frustrated about the traffic jam. They are very much frustrated about their careers. Sometimes they are frustrated about their academic perspectives. So taking down beside, they're celebrating FIFA World Cup. So what's your thought on that?
I mean, this is why I think sport is wonderful, because it doesn't matter sort of, what sort of challenges you have in your life, what stresses you have. I think sport can be a great release, and, it doesn't have to be football. It can be cricket. It can be any sport. And we saw throughout the pandemic, actually, when sport recommenced and cricket was on in stadiums, albeit in closed stadiums, and football was being played in stadium, suddenly fans had something to kind of connect to again. And one of the things that I've really admired here is the massive following of both Argentina and Brazil, and I don't think I've seen Dhaka go quite as crazy during periods of those games, and just to see thousands and thousands of fans sort of cheering on teams, and again forgetting their troubles for those 90 minutes. I think it's fantastic, and again another illustration of how wonderful sport can be.
So we are running out of time. We have only 20 seconds left. Just a simple prediction. What's going to be tonight? England, Wales, the scoreline?
I'm going to predict England win 2-0.
2-0. Tom?
3-1 England.
3-1. You are still stuck with 5-0?
6-0 now.
Okay, let's hope for the best. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation once again.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. দর্শক, এই ছিল আমাদের আজকের ওয়ার্ল্ড কাপ কার্নিভাল উইথ মেগা ডিজিটাল স্কেলের আজকের স্পেশাল এপিসোড। এতক্ষণ আমাদের সঙ্গে থাকার জন্য সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ।